Okay, picture this. A really high-stakes diplomatic moment. You've got an ultimatum on the table.
Right.
And then, bam, an ambassador is told they have just 72 hours to get out of the country.
Sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it?
It really does, but this is a real situation we're going to get into today.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how an event like this, which you might normally see through a standard foreign policy lens, can look completely different depending on the perspective.
Exactly.
And today we're doing a deep dive into one very specific viewpoint based entirely on a YouTube commentary we found. It gives a really particular take on this incident involving Sweden and Mali.
Yeah, so our mission here for this deep dive is to really listen to and understand what this specific source is saying. What does it claim happens when humanitarian aid gets tangled up with, global politics, big alliances, and one country just decides, nope, this is our line? We're focusing only on the arguments, the views presented in this one source, exploring what its narrative tells us about sovereignty, aid, international relations, all through its specific lens.
Right. It's about understanding that particular viewpoint.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where does the source start?
Well, the video jumps right in. It starts with this pretty major diplomatic demand allegedly made by Sweden.
Yeah.
According to this narrative, Sweden, quote, demanded for Mali to stop all their relationship with Russia.
All of it.
That's what the commentary emphasizes. It says everything, completely everything that they're doing with Russia. So total cutoff.
Yeah, okay, that's quite the demand. And was there a stick to go with that carrot? Or perhaps just a stick?
Oh, definitely a stick, as presented here. The video lays out the consequence very clearly. If Mali didn't comply, Sweden, quote, will stop providing aid to Mali.
And not just some aid.
No, the source specifically says all humanitarian aids. It really paints it as a stark ultimatum, do this or else lose this vital support.
A very clear quid pro quo being described there.
Exactly. And the source, this video commentary, it links Sweden's stance directly to the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Okay, how so?
It explains that Sweden, quote, are in support with Ukraine and they are against Russia. So the implication in the video is that Sweden was basically trying to, control Mali's foreign policy choices using aid as leverage.
Right, forcing alignment through aid withdrawal. Okay, so that's the setup according to the source.
Mm-hmm.
A huge demand backed by a serious threat. How did Mali react in this telling? Did they push back?
Oh, absolutely. The source describes a very strong, immediate reaction from the Malian president, no hesitation depicted at all.
What did he do?
According to this account, he ordered the ambassador of Sweden to leave Mali within 72 hours.
72 hours. That's fast.
Yeah, just 3 days. It's portrayed as a really bold move, like Mali saying, okay, you made your demand, here's our answer, loud and clear.
That is a defiant stance, as the source puts it. Does the commentary suggest this was just Mali acting alone, or is it presented as part of something bigger?
That's a really good point, and the account definitely suggests it's not just Mali. There's this sense of real admiration in the commentary for the Malian president, who they call Assamita.
Okay.
The source notes they actually expected him to, quote, be crying or begging when faced with the aid cutoff threat. But he didn't.
Stood firm instead.
Exactly. And then the commentary broadens out. It praises other leaders in the Sahel region, too, specifically mentioning Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso and leaders in Niger alongside Mali.
Interesting. So seeing a connection there.
Yeah. It says these leaders are, quote, doing wonders and are not allowing anyone to bring them down. They're even called heroes. So it builds this narrative of like a collective regional defiance, almost like a shift happening, asserting that, quote, Africa is not a playing place.
Africa's not a playing place. That's a strong statement. And this defiance, this regional picture the source paints, it seems like it leads into challenging the whole idea of aid itself, doesn't it?
It really does. That's actually one of the most striking parts of this video's argument. It forces a complete rethink of what this humanitarian aid actually is.
How does it do that?
Well, it directly challenges the premise. It asks this really provocative question, something like, are they not resources people get from us and then transform and then sell it back to us?
Right. So questioning the direction of value. Is it really just aid flowing one way?
Exactly. And it pushes further, stating very firmly, everything they're sending to Africa, we are buying it, and we always pay for whatever we get.
Okay, so that's a fundamental challenge. It basically dismantles the image presented in this source of Mali being just passively dependent on handouts. It reframes the whole relationship.
Absolutely. And that reframing, that questioning of aid, seems to be the bedrock for what the source portrays as Mali's really strong push for autonomy and self-determination.
So it connects directly to wanting control.
Yes. The video highlights Mali's determination, quoting sentiments like, "We are going to control our resources in our own country, and we are going to control the way we make decisions in our country, even we are going to control our own people." It's about internal control, resource control, decision-making control.
It sounds like the bottom line, then, according to this source, is a complete rejection of outside interference, drawing a very clear line in the sand.
That's exactly the core message presented. The video culminates in this really forceful statement: focus your mind on your own country. Focus on your own country. Focus in the decision-making of your own country. Don't come and start making decision in another man's country.
Wow.
Yeah, it frames this whole incident as Mali taking a stand, refusing to let Africa be treated, quote, as a toy, as a football field where you come and play your ball at any time. It's presented as a major assertion of independence.
So quite a journey in this deep dive. We've explored this very specific viewpoint from our source material on a pretty dramatic diplomatic moment.
Yeah, focusing on how it portrays that intersection of aid, global politics, and fundamentally national sovereignty.
It's a really interesting look at how what might seem like a standard international incident can be viewed through this lens of, well, deeper power dynamics and a nation really asserting its own direction.
Definitely offers a different perspective.
And it leaves us, and you listening, with this thought to consider, based purely on what this source presented. If, as this commentary strongly suggests, the very idea of aid is often tangled up with dynamics of control and dependency, well, how might that change how we understand international relations more broadly?
Right, and the choices nations make about who they align with.
What does it genuinely mean for any nation to be truly independent, to chart its own course in a world that's so interconnected? Something to think about.